It's the SMX Insider Post Race Show brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. This is the UFOplast High Point National Monster Energy SMX World Championship, 4th Pro Motocross race of the year. And the tide is turning very rapidly from where this series was coming in to this race in Pennsylvania and where it is leaving in all the classes. Charlie Cannon gets a victory in WMX. Cole Davies, his first ever overall win in the 250 class, turning the tide of momentum that Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki had built through the first couple of rounds. And in the 450s, it's James Stewart, by the way, I'm Jason Wygant. Hunter Lawrence got the win. He's won a couple of these. That's the 3rd 450 Pro Motocross win of his career. But to do it straight up where his brother Jet did not have an answer, that speaks volumes going into this break.
Yeah, I mean, anytime Jet loses, it's a big deal because the guy never loses. But some wins are bigger than others. And I feel like with Hunter Lawrence, the way he won today, it's just different. We've seen that version of him in Supercross. Anytime he needed to do it, he did it. I know what happened at Salt Lake, but it just shows Paula wasn't a fluke. Like it was. Jet was coming back. Hayden Deegan was first race. But what he did today shows that Paula can happen again because this wasn't close. Just like Paula, it was not close. And when you do that over a guy who looked great all day long, man, that is huge going into the off break.
And then this is huge as well. This crowd, massive today for Father's Day weekend. They were loud, they were into it, they're cheering everybody. They're pumped up on Hayden Deegan, who was 3rd overall today. And then with the weekend off, the next race will be Redbud on July 4th. It'll be absolute madness there, especially with this brewing battle. Hayden actually seemed pretty happy. He was 3rd, and you know he wants to beat them. But he's still taking the positives and the confidence out of it.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he should. He's on the podium again. And, you know, I think a little bit of that happens when he starts catching Jet at the end of the race.
Yep.
Like, those are the little battles that anything that you can give any kind of guy confidence and you give Hayden any kind of sniff of that lead, he's going to take it and run with it. So you start to wonder, will that bite them at the end of the day? Did they start relaxing too much? Because it allowed this dude to catch him. And now he's like, well, I figured it out. I'm able to catch him. And you hear him on the podium, and he's doing a great job.
It's a little different game against him. We've seen the Lawrences race like that for so many years, and no one's able to really take advantage of it or get a hook in them. But Hayden Deegan's a different cat.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he hasn't raced them like that. Yeah. So he knows. Everybody else in his class knows that game. They're like, oh, yeah. And they're just waiting. Hayden doesn't know that.
No.
So, you know, whatever it takes, we got a great series.
There it is. Champagne shower, courtesy of Jet Lawrence there. Happy Father's Day weekend to everybody out there. Sure, Darren Lawrence, Brian Deegan, happy with the podium rides. And I also got to shout out Cole Davies' dad, who, like I said, he didn't quite predict a 1-1 from his son Cole at High Point, but he was darn close. He hinted at it. And when they got to these rutted technical tracks, Cole Davies would be tough, and Dad was right. Hayden Deegan.
Fans have been great all day long.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, Cole Davies, his dad's right, but I think his dad understood what kind of rider Cole is, and he knew, like, hey, he hasn't raced motocross in a while. He didn't race it at all last year, injuries. So it's going to take him a few rounds. I mean, anybody coming off Supercross to motocross is a challenge. If you haven't done it before, it is hard. So I think it's more about he knew his rider and how good he is rather than a specific track. To me, Cole Davies was dominant, just like Hunter Lawrence, especially that second moto.
Oh yeah, and now everybody's got a week extra to think about it. These are the highlights of High Point Pro Motocross and Monster Energy SMX. Absolutely packed the hillsides for a Father's Day weekend, but it's become a classic stop on the tour. This was the long-running Memorial Day race in this championship, now moved into June. Get a lot sunnier skies these days. Great start for Hunter Lawrence in the first moto, but Jorge Prado's right there, and temporarily he's going to get the lead.
Yeah, Jorge Prado tries to slide up. He actually gets on the inside of Hunter. They bump, allows Cooper Webb actually into the lead. Jorge makes a small mistake, but that didn't last long because the 96 was able to rebound, and he just had a different focus about him today, to be honest with you. From the jump, how he attacked his brother that second moto, this moto, Jorge gets around Cooper Webb, as you see Jet Lawrence closing in, but these guys rode great. Now you're going to see Jet Lawrence go down the outside of Cooper Webb. It's going to set him up the inside. Now this is before Cooper and Jorge, they battled for a few laps. It took a while for Jorge to get around. Eventually he does. But as soon as he did that, Jet Lawrence was there. He got around Cooper, now Jorge for second place. And he basically kind of rode off, and Jorge had to ride a lonely third for a little while because the two up front was gone. And this guy was way out front. I'm going to say it a few times. This was a huge win for Hunter Lawrence. This was huge.
Yeah, we were waiting to see once Jet got to second, could he close in at all, and he did not. So then Moto 2 rematch. This time the brothers are 1-2 early. So now they're there at the start. You got Prado and Plessinger in it as well. And it looked like Jet was about to take the lead here.
Well, I think Jet also was. I mean, even at first moto, Jet moved up in the second. He put a few laps in, but he also said that Hunter Lawrence was too far up front. Well, this just shows you how they know each other. Hunter knows where I got to attack Jet Lawrence. No free laps, nothing free. This is Dylan Ferrandis going down, opening laps. Dylan had a tough day. This is the second big crash of the day for him. So unfortunately, he was able to get up and ride off. Jorge Prado, this is early in the race. He's able to get around his teammate, Aaron Plessinger. Hayden Deegan's still behind him. And we thought maybe Jorge would be able to, hang on there, but Hayden Deegan, just as he did in the first moto, not the best of starts, makes his way around Aaron Plessinger. Now, the first moto, Hayden Deegan and Jorge Prado stayed this close the whole race. Hayden wasn't able to get him, but this race, Hayden Deegan had a better flow, better pace, and kind of Jorge didn't put up too much fight on the rookie. Nonetheless, Hayden Deegan would ride off in third place. His teammate, he's like, all right, I'll let you by earlier. I didn't fight you too hard. Let me do it. Jorge, after a couple laps of stalking Aaron and not letting him by, Aaron had to continue to work. But you see that number 36, Marchbanks Kawasaki behind him coming up. But nobody was close to this dude. This is a statement ride from the 96. 1-1 today, just like we saw in the first race of the year. It looked just as good to me.
And the points are nearly even between the brothers now, a 2-point gap for Jet over Hunter. Deegan will take third overall. We'll show you the results here. He wins that battle with Prado in Moto 2 after Prado was just able to hold him in Moto 1. So he goes 4-3 for third. Prado then had that crazy fight with his teammate Plessinger late in Moto 2, but Plessinger wins that one. He gets fourth, pushes Prado to fifth. And then it's Marchbanks, who is rocketing both up the charts each week in the overall and in the points. He's right behind Hampshire for fifth. Prado lost a lot of points with a bad run at Hangtown, so he's way back. And you combine the SMX points, that's Supercross and Motocross together. Hunter Lawrence with a big gap over Webb and the idle Ken Roxon, hoping Justin Cooper, by the way, can come back to racing maybe at Redbud. Had a big crash at Hangtown. And here's the rest of the guys. Here's the key. Jet Lawrence and Hayden Deegan have now moved into the top 20 in combined points. And that would guarantee a gate for them in the SMX playoffs. So we're going to get more stories from some riders that rode very well today, moments ago. First, we'll talk to Katie, who I believe caught up to Aaron Plessinger.
Seeing AP out there today was a lot of fun. I think the commentators had a good time with it, but the smile on your face is telling me it was a good time for you too.
Yeah, it was a fun day. Yeah, it's this is a win for me. I haven't rode that good in almost a year, so it feels good to get that monkey off my back and get up here and show the boys what I can do still. And yeah, I mean, dude, I got to give it up to the whole Red Bull KTM Factory Racing team. They've been behind me and pushing me and they believed in me, and yeah, I just got to give a shout out to everybody out there, or everybody over there. And my bike was working great today, and yeah, it was a shame that I got hurt in Birmingham, because it led me to not get much time on the bike before the season started, and the season started quick, and I didn't know how it was going to go. So this is a huge win for me, especially on Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to my dad and all the dads out there. You guys work hard, so you guys deserve it. But yeah, I'm happy to be up here again, and hopefully it gets better from here on out. And yeah, thanks to everybody behind me, Thor, KTM, Alpine Star, just everybody. I mean, everybody for believing in me. All the haters, I can still do it, even though I got gray hair. Right back at you, son. And do it for Dale, baby.
AP, real quick too, briefly, that battle with Jorge, I got to ask you about it. Okay, it was fun. It was a good time. You guys were at it.
Yeah. I mean, this track sets up for some really good racing. Whether it's rutted as all get out or it's like it was today, it sets up for some real good racing. And to battle my teammate, it's pretty cool. And just to have that, given how the first couple races went, in Colorado I started up front and I shot back faster than, I don't know, a sack of potatoes. Yeah, so to get that done, and I didn't even know we were catching him at first. The battle with Garrett had me like squirreled out, and we caught Jorge, and I was like, oh shoot, all right, well, let's go. And yeah, so it was a gnarly three-way battle, and yeah, it was just a fun day. And now I can go home and be proud and not have to think about what I did wrong. But yeah, it was just an awesome day. So
Thank you. And happy Father's Day to you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
Well, Garrett Marchbanks, more improvement over the last couple weeks, and similar to Jorge Prado, every time we watch you are in a just knockdown, drag-out battle every single weekend. What do you think it's going to take the steps you've gone from here to get to the podium, which is where I'm sure you want to be?
Simple starts. I mean, I keep working myself to death every weekend doing that. I got to be better. It's pretty annoying at this point that I keep doing that to myself. I got to figure it out. Got to be better. Team's working their butt off, and for me to do that to myself sucks. I mean, the speed's there. Just got to be better on the starts.
So all I hear from the team is how much you've worked, how much testing you've done, and how helpful you've been to get the bike better. Can you feel that starting to come around? Like, is there steps during the week that are starting to show up on Saturdays?
Yeah, no, bike's great. I mean, teams worked their butt off. Brock's worked his butt off. Me, it's been a huge team effort the last couple weeks. We've gotten in a really good spot. I'm really happy with where we're at. I feel like, at first we were, a step or two behind at Paula. We made, 2 steps forward. At Hangtown, another small step in Thunder Valley. I feel like we were in a really good spot today. Just, like I said, starts.
All right, well, here's to another step at Redbud. Great job.
Thanks.
250 class highlights for Pro Motocross and Monster Energy SMX, the UFO High Point National from Mount Morris, Pennsylvania. So it had been really the story of the Kawasaki's coming into this race, holding the point lead, tied with the teammates of Levi Kitchen and Seth Hamaker. But Cole Davies going to get a good start here, just though sneaking past is Casey Cochran.
Yeah, Casey got that start and ran up front his first moto for a while. You can see Julian Bomere slide in. Cole Davies got a great start, but you notice he's not in that top 5. He actually started going back, and the first of the big 3, you would say, our title contenders was Levi Kitchen to make a mistake early in the race, ends up going back and kind of stayed in that position. Then it was Julian Bomere. After Casey led this race for a while, Julian closed in, and then he was able to make that pass. And at that point, just start pulling away from these guys. Kind of looked like Cole Davies in the second moto. Little mistake by Cole's teammate right here. He's going to get up the inside. That's Dudley. And Cole had to flow, but still, even when he got past Casey Cochran for a second, he didn't really close the gap on Julian Bomere. That was a nice pass. Nice angle, by the way. And then the moment of the race, out front, about 8-9 seconds, goes down over the finish line, still leads that lap. Goes down, but see how long it takes Cole to get here. And this is towards the end of the race. Julian's gonna get up in second place, keep Cole honest, but not close enough. And then Joe Shimoda, it's gonna be the theme of the day for him, especially in this corner, you'll see soon. Joe Shimoda is able to get up in that third spot after a bad start, but Cole Davies hangs on. Julian close to him, but Cole Davies wins moto number 1 here at High Point.
So well done for the kid out of New Zealand. That's his 3rd career moto win, but has not been able to convert those into overalls. Another good start for Davies this time. Said, I think I got my starts figured out now. I'd say he has.
Nah, he absolutely has. You can see Julian right there, but Cole is not going to get past at this race. In fact, nobody's really going to see him much after this opening laps. This guy was on a different level this second moto, different rider. And the other second co-points leader, Seth. That was a huge crash. Opening lap, came up, I wouldn't even say short, that bike hooked up on him, it looped out, caught him by surprise, walked off the racetrack, but we'll find out more on him. And that's where I was saying, Joe Shimoda, another bad start, a so-so start, has to make his way up And with Cole Davies looking the way he does, Joe's going to have to figure that part out. You can see Levi Kitchen behind him. Joe had to work on his teammate, Chance Hymas, who had a good ride going in that second moto, so shout out to him. Hopefully that only gets better, but Joe's able to get past him. And then Julian Beaumer, after Caden McNear rode great this moto, Julian's able to get to him in second place, so he went 2-2 on the day, Julian that is. And then Levi Kitchen, this pass, while we're showing it, he's gonna get around Ryder D. I believe this is for 5th place, but he actually been able to keep the red plate by this pass by 1 point over Joe Shimoda. Brought everybody else in this field with Seth going out and everything, but Levi still holds on to that red plate. But the man of the day was this guy right here. Different guy, little mini version of Hunter Lawrence, and this guy can run away from this championship if they allow Cole Davies to win like this.
Yeah, big momentum and a big hug from Mom for the young man out of New Zealand. There is another podium for Beaumer, who's also right in it. Championship-wise, he's been great to start the season as well. Shimoda said it wasn't his best day, but he still came up with 3rd. He had an unbelievable battle with Manir on that tunnel jump, especially as you were alluding to. Manir, a solid run in Moto 2 for 3rd. It gives him 5th overall. And look at these points in this championship. This is absolutely nuts. It is a 1-point lead for Kitchen over Shimoda. He has 2 points on Beaumer and 7 points on Davies, and it's so tight that Hammaker, despite having crashed out of a moto, is still down only 16 points. So all 5 of them, they're in contention.
Best case scenario for all these guys. Really good.
Yep. And a week off for everyone to think about it, but they're going to have to think about Cole Davies a lot because we already know what he can do when he gets momentum. He did it in Supercross and won that 250 East title going away, and that's why he has, when you combine the Supercross and Motocross points together, this big gap. Kitchen and Hammaker 2nd and 3rd in those playoff rankings. All right, Cole Davies on top today. Send it back down to Jason Thomas.
Well, thanks, Weege. And I was setting up trying to think about what I wanted to share with all of you, and I couldn't decide between, high points done and dusted or it's all over but the crying. But I think both work because it is so dusty over here in this section right now. It's absolutely blown out. And also, if I had to race, I would probably cry uncle if you put me out on this track right now. But on a serious note, the tracks have been different in 2026 so far, and it really starts in qualifying. I've tried to make note of it in the mornings. The track is in prime condition in these qualifying sessions, but that's leading to really, really tricky hard pack conditions late in the day. And I'm not sure if that has just been circumstance or if that's been purposeful, but it has been noticeable and it's been consistent so far. So I'm wondering, will riders start pivoting what they do during the week? Are they going to let the tracks maybe get a little bit more hard pack, a little bit like harder bumps that changes the suspension versus the perfectly groomed and perfectly tractioned racetracks that they practice on throughout the week? Because I as a former racer, I know that the bikes work differently, and the riders are probably dealing with that. You can just see the little bit of discomfort they have in the second motos. And Weege, I know you talked to Levi Kitchen this morning about, hey, this is a lot different than what we're used to. So I don't know where we go from here. We're going to go to Redbud, one of the best tracks on the circuit. It's America's National. It's a racetrack that typically has a lot of traction, so maybe that bucks the trend. But moving forward, maybe we see a shift in how these guys are preparing week to week.
Hey, the year-long Love Moto Stop Cancer Text to Donate campaign, which benefits St. Jude Children's Hospital, continues in the Pro Motocross with this new shirt. So join the stars of your favorite sport. Pledge $19 a month to St. Jude, and then you get this limited edition red, white, and blue t-shirt. This special opportunity is available now through August 31st. You just text SUPER, that's S-U-P-E-R, to 785-833, and you get the shirt, $19 a month to St. Jude, helping kids with cancer. WMX powered by Synchrony. These are women's motocross highlights from Pro Motocross at High Point. How about this debut? Just turned 17. That means she can turn pro, and Mayla Herrick off to the races with a whole shot.
Yeah, she came out this first ever moto in WMX and was strong. She was able to get away about almost 4 or 5 second lead in that opening lap. Normally we're looking at the number 1 do that, but you can see her down the middle of the screen. She didn't get a bad start considering some of the starts this season, but that opening lap gap that she was down on the leader was phenomenal. So she goes to work on McCutcheon for 4th place here. You can see Nielsen in front of her, which she's going to work her way up in here in 3rd place. Nice pass. And coming into this race, Lala was 6th, so we weren't really sure on how she was going to feel. Well, she looked good this first moto, fighting all the way through. And this was the last lap. Van Drunen's in 2nd, but this was the rookie, the 17-year-old, happy birthday, winning her first ever moto here at High Point, moto number 1.
Unreal debut for Mela Herrick. That's on Friday. Now Moto 2, here's the problem. Herrick is hit in turn 1, and she's in the center of that pile and down hard.
Yeah, that was tough. We ended up having to red flag this, and going from the highs and lows of the sport, that's how quickly it can change. This is with Charlie Cannon, who had a so-so day yesterday. Probably disappointed for her, especially fighting this championship for Lachlan Turner. So great opportunity, but understandably, we had to red flag the race. Crazy moment in the race. This is Van Drunen, who finished 2nd. That first moto, her whole shot device got stuck, and so they ended up having to take her out. They had to throw oil on their motorcycle. There was a lot of stuff going on, but second restart, it was the champ out front doing something she's done so far every race this year, pulling away, executing, and being under the weather. You knew she needed that gap. This is Van Drunen coming up through the pack. She did a great job at fighting, but that start, she was dead last off the gate. Not riding with that whole shot device really cost her. She's going to make her way up on the inside of Jarvis here for 4th place, but that was as far as she was going to go. Moment of the race, we've seen it a lot this year. A lot sometimes out front. Usually it's earlier. This is only with 2 laps left. She gets cross-rutted, knocks the wind out of her. Sick, tough. She picks up that motorcycle, but it's kind of becoming a thing with her. She's out front, and what's also becoming a thing is Charlie being there to pick up those pieces. She needed this race, and to come back, first ever 2nd moto victory here, but first overall in WMX this year. Charlie, exactly what she needed. Congratulations, that's your overall winner.
And perseverance pays off. 5th in the first moto. That's way below par for her, and she comes back to end up with the overall win with the 5-1. And then Drunen went through pretty much everything you can go through in Moto 2, but still ends up on the podium with the 2-4. Well done for her coming over from Holland. Nielsen 4th overall, Jarvis 5th. And man, get well soon to Mela Herrick. Not sure of her situation there with the injury in turn 1. What a debut it is. Turner has a just 6-point lead over Cannon, and now there's a large break. WMX will resume for the final 3 rounds of this championship in August. So we'll see what could change at that point for the WMX Series powered by Synchrony. Welcome back to the booth here, Jason and James. So a weekend off, and not just any race when the series resumes. I just cannot even imagine what that crowd, first of all, is going to be like at Redbud, which just happens on America's 250th birthday to fall on July 4th, Saturday. Amazing timing there that you could not plan. Crowd's going to be wild. It's already been great so far this year. And I'm going to start with the 450 class. You nailed it at the top of the show. You said, yes, Jet Lawrence has a lot more wins than Hunter Lawrence, but lately things are trending the right way in general for the 96, and boy, now those things are off the charts at this point.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes from Hunter and all his resilience he's had. Like, I mean, his whole career to injuries, to bounce back. You knew if he would just figure it out, he had the right mindset to be able to come out here and compete. It was just whether he can figure that part out. Well, he did, and he did it in a strong way. And we talked after the show, it's rare to see Jet Lawrence lose any kind of race, but I've never seen him lose a race that he basically was leading at one point and just kind of get pulled away from with his brother. And then also the way it happened. Hunter Lawrence, it looked easy. It looked easy. And to have that for Hunter Lawrence twice this year, you know, we have 4 rounds. Hunter Lawrence has went 1-1 in 2 of these rounds. It is really to the opening of what I said in the show. This year is different. Hunter Lawrence is a different person, and he showed you today. And I would say we have a fight here in this championship.
Yeah, maybe the first time we've seen Jet Lawrence in podium in 450 motocross, not really having an answer. The standard having to go to we're going to work on the bike, we're going to work over the break, and try to get it back. Hunter's got everyone on notice right now. As for the 250 class, it probably looks surprising to see this from Cole Davies because the results haven't been there besides one good moto he really had at Hangtown. But I think in the pits, and I think you and I thought there was a good chance that at some point this kid had the talent, it was going to hit. It just happened to take 4 rounds. but I almost feel like it was inevitable that we were going to see this from him.
Yeah, and I think the hard part for the outsiders is it's easy because Cole hasn't raced outdoors,
Yeah.
so you don't know. And he doesn't speak that much when we do hear from him. But I know what I see. That kid has talent. His dad obviously knows how good he is. Bobby at Star Racing, we know inside the pit. So to me, Cole Davies was one guy, even coming into this championship, I felt like if he won early in this season, he can run away from this. That's how good he is. Unfortunately for him, there were some weird motos, so we really wasn't sure what version of Cole Davies we got. Well, if we get this version, I don't care who's racing. This guy is hard to beat, and we're going to find out next weekend, or a couple weeks in Red Bud.
That's going to make next race they have in 2 weeks very, very critical to stop the momentum. That'll be Red Bud, July 4th, race day live. Qualifying coverage at 10 a.m. on Peacock, and the racing, of course, begins at 1 o'clock. That's all Eastern time. And we'll follow it up like we're doing today with the SMX Insider Post Race Show presented by Bass Pro Shops. And that 250 class, the points are unbelievably close. We can go in any direction. That makes each race so important. That'll be the 511 Red Bud National. Here's the track map. Take us through it, James.
Yeah, well, Red Bud, that's a phenomenal layout. I mean, they always do some tweaks here and there, but favorite circuit on the track this season for the Rodders. They look forward to it, always good conditions. And what JT said in his track report, I think we'll find out here, is this delivered, what they're trying to do at these racetracks? Because if this racetrack at Red Bud, who always has phenomenal traction, ends up like this, then they're doing that on purpose. But we'll find out in a couple of weeks. Jason, happy Father's Day, man.
Yeah, same to you.
Yeah.
You said it right on Friday. You're like, man, I miss my kids. Same here. I'm going to go hang out with my daughter who actually was here this weekend. I got to get home to my son, the rest of the family. Seth Hamaker slipped away from him there and slipped right into the hands of the 37 of Cole Davies in the 250 class. Hunter Lawrence in control in the 450s. Yeah, he beat Jet today. There'll be a rematch coming up at Red Bud. Great racing at High Point. We say congrats to the winners. Salute to the dads. We'll see everybody in 2 weeks at Red Bud.